if you're watching this on Wednesday, it's been exactly 2 months since we've been together on that Friday, March 13th. And tomorrow, crazy enough, is the AP Chem exam. The day before the test at school, I always try to give like a pep talk. AP Chem is always a test that's first thing in the morning, so I've got to do it the day before. A lot of times it fell on a Monday, so I had to do it the Friday before and give people some ideas of what to do over the weekend. So I'm going to try to do my best to channel all of those the same things that I normally do. I've done things from the movie Rocky, Aesop's Fables, talked about battles through history from ancient Greece all the way up through the Civil War, and all sorts of ridiculous things just to get people a little bit more excited and confident going into the test. But before I try to get you pumped up or thinking about the test, I think there's two important questions that we answer first. Number one, is the AP test important this year? But any year, but especially this year. And two, are we going to do our best? So the answer to number one, is the AP test important? No. Colleges said they are going to give credit in almost every instance that has made a statement on it. Awesome. So you guys, if you do well, you may or may not get, you may get some college credit. That's awesome. But if you're planning to be a science major, you need to be taking and retaking that chem class anyway. You need to get the experience at college. You need to take the advantage that you've given or been given by taking the class and just get a little bit more ahead. I think that in any year, and this year is no different in terms of this, you want to take your experiences from chemistry at Westfield, both regular or honors and AP chemistry, and use those to your advantage in the best way, which is by getting a little bit ahead of your new peers, by going to your general chemistry class, by being really well prepared for each and every test, by excelling, by being able to get a little bit more of the detail and the nuance that maybe you missed in AP, and then you'll be that much further ahead when you go on to analytical chemistry or organic chemistry, or you have to start applying it in a physics or biology or anatomy class. So that's a big reason why maybe every year, not just this year, I think the AP test is a nice cherry on top, but it's not the most important thing. Which leads us to question two, are we going to do our best? The answer to that should be not just about the AP test, but about everything you're doing in life. Absolutely, yes. If you've been in my class for multiple years, I'm sure at some point I have rambled on about this. I don't know when I do it. I can't turn it off. But the first job I had was at a grocery store, similar to Kroger. It was actually later bought out by Kroger, but it was bagging groceries. And I had that job for almost 2.5 years, and I was the best bagger at the store. Not because I made more money, not because I wanted to get promoted. In fact, I didn't want to be a cashier or a stocker. I enjoyed bagging groceries, but because I could be the best, because that's people's food, because they spent money on it, and because it was me doing the work. When you do something, whether it's big, small, important, not important, do your best, work hard. Try to leave things as a representation of yourself and of as the memory that others will have of you. And in doing that, be your best so it's a positive experience and positive memory. I don't know. Many of these speeches are kind of rambling. That's why I was never a coach, despite the fact that I also don't know enough about sports or have enough physical ability. But I tend to ramble. But when I was trying to think of exactly what to talk about in this quarantine edition of a talk to get you ready for tomorrow, one important thing that comes up in everyone is stop worrying about chemistry. We worried about it for 2 trimesters last year, the year before. We worried about it for 2 trimesters and a half at school. We worried about it for 2 months at home. At this point, you're ready to go. Just chill out, make sure everything's charged, get your checklist ready sometime today. Zoe agrees, and then just kind of lay back and don't try to learn or study that one last thing. The garbage truck's coming, so they're going to keep working. Super annoying. Sorry. But with the quarantine edition, sorry, I was thinking about, do I need to include something about it? And now we're all in this together, this unprecedented time, something about that bitch Carol Baskins. I don't know. But it kind of went back to two things that I've been into or talked about before this. One is I've had a chance to watch a lot more, but I've always been into cooking competition shows, kind of watching people cook, especially on a timer, from the original Iron Chef with Morimoto, not Iron Chef America or anything like that, things from 20 something years ago. And a show I've kind of gotten into recently or watched almost every episode is Beat Bobby Flay. And it's not because I love Bobby Flay or I think that Bobby Flay is the best chef in the world, but he's been in enough cooking competitions that they have a whole show devoted to people from all over the country and sometimes all over the world trying to beat him in a cooking competition. And these are chefs who've won Michelin stars and chefs who are Zagat rated with the highest ratings with restaurants, and they want to come in and beat Bobby Flay. And the interesting, maybe, probably not, as you listen to this thing about it is, I don't think he's the best chef in the world. I don't think he's the most maybe entertaining chef in the world, but he may be the best televised competitive chef in the world because he does it over and over again. He can beat people at things that are their specialty. They come in and pick the dish that they're going to beat him with, and he takes their specialty dish, the thing that they are best at, and beats them at it because he's so good at what he does. And that's what we've been doing since the beginning of this school year. Every single quiz you've gotten from me is an AP question. Every single test is an AP question. Every mock exam was an AP question or a modified AP question. Every lab came from the College Board test book and had questions on it from modified AP questions. Every multiple choice Monday were modified or real AP questions. You guys have been taking every possible different ingredient and putting them together. And on every test, I have pushed you time-wise, similar to the way that you're going to be pushed on this test at home. The mock exams have pushed you, so you've gotten the experiences. You've taken every different way that you can see something and think about something and practice something, and you've done it, and you've done it in a timed setting in a way that the hundreds and thousands of people across the country haven't. I work with AP teachers from around the country, and the experiences that you have, the training that you have is unique. I have worked to put in a system for you guys to be successful, and it's going to pay off this year. The other thing that I talk about all the time, is my boys. And as I was last night trying to figure out the last thing to say or the last thing to do was we were doing puzzles. And Hayden, he's the 3-year-old with the long curly hair now, was doing a puzzle. And the first one, he said, I can't do it. So I took a couple pieces and I put corners in there. And then I started asking him what those were, and he did it. And then right after that, we got the next pieces for the next one out, and he asked me to cover my eyes. And I actually just watched TV. I didn't cover my eyes fully, but he worked on it, and then he told me to look, and he did it all by himself. And then we got the next puzzle, and he did it all by himself after asking me to cover my eyes. He didn't think when we did the first puzzle that he knew what he was doing or that he could do it himself. But he had practiced and he had gotten the help, and he just needed that little piece of confidence or guidance or those clues from me. And then over and over again, he successfully did something. It didn't mean he did it fast. It didn't mean that he did it perfect. And the fourth puzzle that he did, he got mad and he said he couldn't do it. And he said that it was broken. And I told him it wasn't, and he finished it. You guys from the past 12 years, 13 years, whether that's all at Westfield or it's been a combination of different places, have been putting together the skills to build the puzzles on an AP Chem test, on the other AP tests you may be having coming up, on your college tests and classes on your career aspirations coming up, and you know how to do it. You don't need somebody to watch you. You don't need somebody to tell you what piece goes where. You know how to do it. Just do it and enjoy it. And when it comes together, look at the beautiful picture that you made by yourself and be ready to get another puzzle, to solve it, and to enjoy that one when you do. I kind of changed my setting for this one compared to some others because, as many of you have, I've been reading all kinds of dumb stuff on the internet. And one of the things was about The Office, which is a show I really like. And there was an article or a mention of like, why is the confessional the place where most people sit? Why is it the same for everyone? But sometimes Jim or certain people are up against the window. And one explanation was they showed people who had a future outside of Dunder Mifflin, outside of the office, with their backs to an outside window to show that there was hope out there. So I wanted to have my last big video, my last motivation here next to our stained glass that we made just a few days into this quarantine, so almost 2 months ago, but pointing to the outside. Many of you, this is going to be your last major e-learning assignment, so do awesome on it and enjoy it when it's done. Or maybe all of you, maybe you got some stuff to do to wrap over the weekend. But some of you, it's one of the last things you need to do at Westfield. This isn't what anyone expected to start or end this year. But it's going to be an important piece in your puzzle, and it's going to be an important part of the picture, but it is not the only piece, and it is not the piece that defines what the rest of the picture looks like. It's the piece that helps you to know where the next one locks in and helps you to find the next connection that's going to be important in bringing your life together. So I always enjoy the moments after the AP test where people can come back and say how it was and it wasn't that bad, and that little enjoyment was taken from us in those last few days where we're just trying to survive and we're done with our finals and we have to be here for attendance and all those end of the year things that are nice and not stressful. But the nice thing, or the thing that we have, is that we were able to finish. We were able to finish strong. We were able to finish in a way that other people couldn't have finished. And we are going to be as ready, likely more ready than many others for what comes next. For you juniors, next year's senior year is going to be something you're going to be a lot more ready to engage in and challenge yourself in and accept any of those challenges that come along. And your graduates, you're going to have some unique stories to tell, but you're going to be just as ready as anybody ever to go on to whatever your next step is. So best of luck. Put down your chemistry after you check a few more boxes until it's test time. Be ready for the test, do your best because you can, and then enjoy the summer. Hopefully I'll get a chance to see a lot of you somehow over the next few months, maybe years. But if not, good luck. You're going to do great things. If there's anything you ever need from me, don't hesitate to send me a message, and I will be there, and I will be there to help you. So take care. Good luck on the test because you are ready for it, and enjoy the last few days here.